Lay low, got me on my knees, lay low. What's up, Jerome's? We are back. Happy Sunday out there. It's a good day. It's a new day, a new dawn for the Minnesota Vikings. Kevin O'Connell, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah in power and going to take the Vikings to the next level. Mandatory minicamp starts this week for the Vikings, and the Vikings do have a very nice 90-man roster currently, but they do have just a smidgen of salary cap space, and they could and should look to improve the roster. Here are 5 value free agents for the Minnesota Vikings to sign right meow. Now, we're going to go outside the box. Again, we're talking about value. We're talking about middle and bottom part of the roster type guys who can still add some value. So we're not talking about pie in the sky like Gronk or Richard Sherman or Cam Newton or Linval or OBJ or Ndamukong Suh or even J.C. Treader. Here, 5 value time. Like we're talking about probably league minimum, veteran minimum, nothing guaranteed. So let's get this thing going. First up, wide receiver, punt returner, Adam Humphries, 29 years young, formerly of Washington, Tennessee, and Tampa Bay. He's OG Hunter Renfrow, coming out of Clemson, man. Also, just another wide receiver named Adam. Thielen, Blake Prohl, and Humphries can just point at each other like Spider-Man meme, right? But he's a very solid slot receiver. I think he's been underutilized and underrated throughout his career. Also, what's really important here is that the Vikings still have a glaring hole at punt returner because 2 of the guys that were going to be in the Derby, KJ Osborne and ISM, KJ's been dinged up. Hopefully he'll be back for mandatory minicamp this week. And ISM is going to be out until training camp. So Humphries' punt return prowess, he has 8.0 yards per punt return in his career, would be a nice bonus. Also, given that he's a veteran wide receiver, been there, done that as well, that would be a huge bonus for the Vikings. Next up, value free agent number dos for the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, we're going to keep banging this drum until it gets done. Bring Sheldon back home. Young Sheldon back for the 3rd time with the Vikings. Last year, 37 pressures, 2.5 sacks, primarily playing 4-3 defensive end, which is pretty out of position for him. He's thrived at 3-tech in a 4-3. Also, we've said this ad nauseum, his best seasons were with the Jets when he played a 5-tech, a 3-4 defensive end. So just on the outside shoulder, outside eyeball of the tackle, and he's good against a run. He's a good team player. He can still get a pass rush there, and I think that Sheldon would be phenomenal, dynamite, especially since the Vikings are moving to a multiple front, playing a lot more odd up front on the defensive line. He would be great. He would be fantastic. Also, he's got the respect of the locker room, so why not at this point? But maybe they're just waiting him out. I don't know. Also sticking on the defensive line. So this one is a little spicy. Larry Ogunjobi, 28 years young, coming out of Cincinnati. Now, here's the thing. He had a phenomenal season last year with the Bengals. He had 41 pressures, 7 sacks, got injured before the Super Bowl. He signed a 3-year deal with the Bears this offseason, big-time money, but failed a physical. So that's why he's floating out there in free agency, and that's why he's probably going to be cheap. Reportedly, the Jets have an offer on the table for him. It's sort of a take-it-or-leave-it deal. We'll see. But I really liked Ogunjobi coming out of Charlotte. Go 49ers, baby. He was a 2017 third-round pick by the Browns, played 4 years with them. Jumped to the other Ohio team, and now is just sort of floating out there. And the Vikings moving to that 3-4. You do need guys in the middle who can stand their ground. And Ogunjobi, I mean, he gave the Vikings fits week 1. Garrett Bradbury, Ogunjobi, it wasn't a good time. You're not going to have a good time, man. And guys who can get a little bit of a pass rush as well as stand up solidly against the run, I mean, those are going to be valuable. And you can never have enough depth along the offensive line. And Ogunjobi, given his failed physical, if he's good to go, I think that he's probably going to have to sign a 1-year minimal prove-it deal. And why not with the Vikings? Why not? Hey, you want to go chase a ring, baby? Let's go. Also, I mean, the Vikings just have better doctors than the Bears. I mean, the Bears medical team fail. I don't know. Probably not. Next up, value free agent numero 4 for the Minnesota Vikings. I'm coming home to the place where I belong. Tight end MyCole Pruitt, 29 years young, from the Tennessee Titans. He was a 2015 fifth-round pick by the Vikings. Career 46 catches, 488 yards receiving, 7 touchdowns. A solid blocker, good team player, plays great special teams. He was on the Vikings and bounced around to the Bears and also the Titans. I'm sure there's another team in there somewhere, probably. But he would be a nice tight end 3. And as we've said, there is questionable depth behind Irv Smith. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Nick Muse? Is it going to be Zach Davidson? Is it going to be Ben Ellefson? I don't know. But throw Pruitt in there as a stabilizing veteran force who can easily be a tight end 3. Like, he doesn't have the ego where he can't be a tight end 1 or tight end 2. He can do the dirty work. He can play some special teams, and he would be a really nice addition to the bottom of the 53. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Lastly, value for agent number 5 for the Minnesota Vikings. Wide receiver, punt returner, Anthony Miller. Now, I know. We just threw the Bears underneath the bus. He was a second-round pick in 2018 by the Bears. He never worked out. Just did not get anything going. Last year he was with the Steelers, but I loved him in Memphis. And this is another one of those draft crush carryovers where I loved Anthony Miller at Memphis. I thought that he was going to be a dynamic slot receiver. It hasn't really panned out, but I'm talking about punt returning. So he hasn't really gotten the opportunity to return punts in the league. He's returned a couple of kicks, but he was a very solid punt returner in college. And I think that just adding him in, league minimum deal, nothing guaranteed, and just throwing him into the punt return competition, why not? And if he starts edging up in the wide receiver room, wide receiver 5, wide receiver 6, and he starts panning out on some of that second round potential that he had with the Bears, I would love it, man. I would love it. But that's it. Those are 5 value for agent for the Vikings. Again, not sexy, but they're going to be cheap. They could provide some value, could provide some competition, and you're looking to improve every single level and strata and tier of this rooster, and these 5 guys would do it. But let us know your thoughts and our thoughts. 5 value for agent for the Vikes. Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.